What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast, episode 88 for UFC Vegas 88. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host here, Timothy Troiano. What is up, Timothy? We came off a banger of a card to a fight night card here. I don't think it's terrible, but what do you think of this card?
I think it's a huge drop down from what we got spoiled with last week. Last week was an amazing fight card and pay-per-view, I should say, and there were just some awesome matchups and some great, exciting fights. So I think this card kind of sucks, but I don't think it's terrible for betting. So we can chop it up and figure out some good spots for the people.
Yeah, I mean, last week, man, 900 live viewers. It was an amazing show. Really, really good show because of you guys. I will go over to my chat before we break down this card. MMA Goulash, what is up, my man? Mushroom MMA is also in the house. Backstage Tattoo says Tuivasa. We'll see about that. Match predictions. The way Narco amps up a fight night is unmatched. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you, my man. 3 a.m, coffee and stats from South Africa. Can't miss the chat live. Man, I appreciate you joining us here at 3 a.m, all the way over there. MMA Line Mover says Tybura season. Sergio, let's effing go, my friend. EHG says can't bet since it's Ramadan, but we'll definitely be watching the Lambo. Appreciate you, man. Bob Spikerman says let's freaking cash those tickets, man. Yes, sir. Joel says I forgot to thank Narco last week. Round full call. He said sprinkle 3, 4, 5. I put $10 on each and won $500+. Yes, let's freaking go. Rosenstrike. Mr. Chico, that time again. Yes, sir. What else do we have here? DA07. What is up, my man? Thank you for joining. Bufu on the beat. What's up? Joshua Frick. Double Flush. Alan Orante. Run the likes up, boys. Yes, listen to him. Give these guys their flowers. Appreciate you, man. The Clan Brady. What is up, man? Dixon in the house as well. Undertaker, good evening, my friend. Another winning week in Discord. Let's freaking go. Danny Link, let's eat. Shafiq, what's up, my man? Lee Ginsburg, thank you for joining. Caddy, Daddy, the duo every MMA fan needs to hear, man. Appreciate you. Ishu, boom, boom, man. What's up? Thanks for joining. Bill Norman, what's up, my friend? Hit the like button, like he said. Mr. Aussie Willow, I like turtles, and I like Tim. Subhuman, what's up, my man? Good evening as well to you. Steverson is in the house. Let's freaking go. Lambo time, says Kevin. Killabrew, I'm dialing in that Discord parlay challenge, taking all the monies. Yes, sir. We got that challenge in the Discord. You guys need to post your tickets up there. PSSA, what's up, man? Let's get that money today. Timothy Johnson, what is up? Azure, what's up, my friend? Thank you for joining. And with that being said, 130 of you are already in here. I appreciate you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, retweet, do whatever you can. Let's get some more people in here, and we'll start out with the first fight of the night. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 12-7 Chad and Helliger versus the 8-3 Charalampoulos Gregorio. Tim, you have the first one here. What is up, my friend? Lucrative in the house.
So I mean, and this fight is, I don't know, man. I think that it's, the Greek dude, Charamilos, I was struggling to struggle with his name, Harampalos, I think it is, that you don't say the C. So Harampalos, Gregario, I think that, he comes out hot and fights. And I think that Chad and Hellinger for me is kind of a guy that I'd typically fade. Went with Johnson by sub last fight. I think if you get guys that grapple against him, I think it's really good. He's kind of short. He's got a short range, but he's got some good power in his punches for and Hellinger. But he's super old, and he's not dealing with he just isn't. He's not getting better at this stage in the game. He's definitely on a downward trend, and I feel like his path in this fight is a late finish. But I also feel like this fight, going to decision and Chad being really durable, where Harampalos is kind of a good striker, and he goes for a broke in the first 6-7 minutes of a fight. I kind of see this fight playing out a little bit closer out on the feet, especially later on as Gregorio starts to slow down in round 2 and round 3. So seeing as I think he probably goes, I'm gonna take a couple stabs at like that ends by split at plus 500, and the round 3 for Chad is plus 1400. I don't think that those are bad looks. I think the plus 500 for end split though, I think is a good line compared to the lines we've been seeing recently on these fights.
Yeah, I mean, this fight goes is like plus money. I get it. Charampolos has some power in his hands. He showed it on Dana White's Contender Series. He got a first round knockout. But Chad's never been knocked out. That's the one thing. When he gets finished, it's mostly submissions. And don't really think Charampolos is submitting him. Could he get a knockout? Sure, it's possible. But, when you watch this guy historically, it's not really that easy for him to knock out people. Like, he's got big leg kicks. He's got, decent power. He's a Glory kickboxer, and he fought in Glory. But, his cardio is a little questionable. I do think this fight hits the scorecards. I know and Hellinger kind of took this on short notice. Wasn't a full camp, I believe, maybe like 3 weeks. But fight ends in split plus 500. I think is not bad because I do think Chad might be able to take round 3. I think Gregorio is probably good for round 1, and then round 2 might be the toss-up round. So yeah, man. I see the angle of Chad round 3. I just don't think he's finishing this guy in round 3. Even if you look at the finish against Christian Rodriguez, who's a much, much better fighter than Chad, it was kind of questionable to even stop that fight. But yeah, I like the split here. Let's go with that plus 500. But I also like this fight to go. It's just one of those fights where, it's bantamweight as well. You have to remember that. And, these fights probably go a lot more often than they don't. So, yeah, split decision plus 500 here. Not bad. Fight number 2. It is in a strawweight division. It is the 8-2 Corey McKenna versus the 7-1 Jacqueline Amaral. And, this line's been blowing up all week. I mean, Amaral is plus 155 now from plus 105. I mean, everybody is hitting McKenna. And
what could go wrong?
I guess I can get it in a sense that, she might have the better striking. She might look a little more physical, but she makes a ton of mistakes on the ground. I don't like that about her. I don't like that she was in bad positions against Kay Hansen. I know that was years ago. And, everybody's talking about Amaral, how she gassed out in her first UFC fight against Hughes. Yeah, but Hughes cheated as well, man. She probably should have got the sub there. She didn't. Amaral submission for me, plus 390. I just think this fight's probably going to hit the ground, and I think the girl that's going to make the mistake is McKenna. And I think, Amaral is much better than Kay Hansen is when it comes to submission. So I think she probably finds a sub here. It's not going to be easy, but I think she's the way better BJJ girl here. So give me the sub at plus 390 here on Jacqueline.
Well, you and I are like on identical calls on this one, man. I can't. I'm with you, dude. I think that the level of jiu-jitsu between Kay Hansen and Amaral is gigantic. Kay Hansen just does a bunch of flashy, stupid shit when she's on the ground. Typically, she's not like really processed with her for jiu-jitsu. She also is way more likely to like play off of her back going for subs as opposed to trying to go for sweeps. I feel like Amaral in everything you said, man. I think I was nodding my head huge on the Sam Hughes fight. That was, I had a bet on her on sub round 1 in that fight, and I was just screaming at the TV that they didn't call anything on that. That was like fight ending type of like DQ type shit by the foul. It was such a flagrant foul. And I think that she also gassed in that fight going for the kill. I mean, obviously she had zero resistance against Ruiz, but she beat the living shit out of her for 3 rounds and was absolutely in kill mode from the first minute to the last till she finally finished her in round 3. So is it possible that she gasses out? And it was also her debut. So I think it was more of a cardio dump, an adrenaline dump. Adrenaline dump on that in a situation where she's really nervous, and that the nerves kind of got to her more than the actual physicality of the fight. Add on top of that Sam Hughes is a cardio beast. So, her outlasting people is not a surprise to me. In this fight on the feet, Amarim is not good, but she has a 9.5 inch reach advantage as well. The problem on the feet, I think if McKenna was smart, she would actually try to keep it on the feet, because even though she's got T-Rex arms, she does throw an insane amount of volume. But I think that this fight is going to be grappling. I think there's going to be grappling. I think that McKenna said that she wants to grapple with her, which I think is stupid. And that to me just reeks go for the sub. And so a sub is the same thing, 380 or 390. I think it happens in round 1 or 2. I do think that if she doesn't get it in round 1 or 2, I think it's probably going to go to decision. They're good numbers though. It's plus 950 and plus 1300 on 1 and 2.
All right. What do you think the line is going? Why do you think the line is going in McKenna's favor? Why are people seeing? I think a lot of people think that she can get, even if she can take her down, she can get top time, and she can stay safe. And on the feet, they see her as the better striker. So, but honestly, when you look at the stats, man, McKenna's been outlanded by almost everybody. I mean, the only person she outlanded is Demopoulos, who probably has even shorter arms and is a shitty striker herself. So
yeah, I'd be looking to go live on her if I was betting her.
Yeah. Let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 17-7 Thiago Moises versus the 8-1 Mitch Ramirez. And this one's yours, Tim.
Yeah, so this fight, Mitch Ramirez is on really short notice. He is primarily a striker and throws some big heat on the feet. Bigger, stronger guy. Moneyline wise, I'll say this. Moneyline wise, even on short notice in these fights, Thiago Moises is never a guy that I want to be putting a heavy juice and laying heavy juice with. Just doesn't seem like a smart long-term play on the money line. But props wise in this fight, I think that there's a decent sized chance that he's going to submit this dude. Usually when he's fighting down in competition and level of competition for Moises is when he succeeds and does really well. I just keep seeing a takedown happening eventually. I don't know if it necessarily comes super early or if it's easy to get this guy down early. He might be able to. If he does, then he'll sub him in round 1. But I'm hoping that it takes a little bit of time for him to get going, and that he kind of wants to outlast this dude and push him cardio wise. So I'm going to take a shot on this sub 2, sub 3 for Moises. It's plus 750 and plus 1,000. Hope he doesn't sub him too early.
Yeah, I mean, that's one path for sure for Thiago Moises. I mean, if he gets him down, I think he's in big trouble. But, man, Mitch Ramirez is a big dude at 55. I don't know if you guys watched the face-offs. He made weight. He looked really, really good on the scale. He looks like an absolute monster, man. I mean, the guy is probably coming in on fight night at probably 190 or something. He's big. I mean, very big. And I think he has good boxing. I mean, both southpaw and conventional. He switches stances. He throws with big power in his punches. We've seen Moises, though, succumb to pressure fighters, and that's exactly what Ramirez is. I mean, he's a pressure fighter. He's going to come forward. He's going to try to throw big shots. The question is, for me, is can Moises take him down? And I'm not really sure, to be honest. I haven't really seen Mitch on the ground. I'm not really sure if he can take him down. I think there will be a strength advantage for Mitch Ramirez. I'm going to take my shot on KO, man. I do think if he lands on Thiago Moises, he can knock him out We've seen what pressure has done to Thiago Moises in his 2 finishes. Both guys, Alvarez and Saint Denis, did the exact same thing. They pressured him, came forward, and he got finished. Like, he crumbled in the Alvarez fight, and he basically crumbled in the Benoit Saint Denis fight as well. So I just feel like when Moises doesn't have his way, it seems like he does crumble against pressure and against more physical guys, right? And this guy is definitely a physical guy. So I'm going to go on a limb, man. Mitch Ramirez, KO. I think the upset's happening. I know I'm probably one of the only people that I've heard that's on Mitch Ramirez. But, yeah, I mean, listen, I watched that Prates fight, and I don't think it was a terrible look for him. He looked good early on in that fight. The problem is Prates just destroyed his body. He teeped him. He stepped in knee. All the things that, Thiago doesn't really have those weapons. Prates is a huge guy too. And that was at 70. So, yeah, man, I would honestly, I would not touch Thiago Moises in parlays. It's a risky proposition. Moving on. Fight number 4.
What was the line for the KO on him?
700.
Okay.
I think you can get better if you search, but the one I got is 700. I think there was 800 out there. Yeah. Is there 800? No, I'm seeing 7. I don't know. Maybe you can find 8. Let's move on. Fight number 4. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 11-2-1 Josh Kulibala versus the 8-1 Danny Silva. And Danny Silva missed weight here. I think he missed by like 2.5 pounds. A little surprising. This is his first UFC fight. You shouldn't be missing weight. But I mean, I see violence in this fight, man. I see a lot of violence in this fight. Kulibala throws hard. Danny Silva throws hard. Danny Silva has good cardio. He keeps coming forward. The one thing that stuck out for me when I did tape is, Kulibala seems to be a front runner. He seems to start out very fast in a lot of fights. He looked good against Seungwoo Choi. He looked good against Charles Jourdain. He looked okay against Laron Murphy. And all 3 of those fights, he faded hard. Seungwoo Choi destroyed him in round 3. Murphy dropped him later in that fight. Jourdain almost finished him in round 3. And it's like, it's a common theme with this guy in round 3. Like, it does seem like he slows down, and he's going to be facing a guy that will be on the front foot. He will dig to the body like absolute hell, which in my mind just says that maybe this guy even slows down even more than normal, because that's what Silva does. He digs to the body very, very, very hard. And I don't remember which fight he ate a kick to the body. He did not like it, Kulibala. So I think Danny Silva 2-3 has, 2-3s haven't really been good numbers, but these are good numbers. These are plus 1,200, plus 1,900. If you want to do KO, I guess that's fine. I think you can get 2,400 even on round 3. But yeah, I kind of feel like Danny Silva breaks him, man. I really do. I think this is a fight where Danny Silva breaks him, man. I honestly believe that the body work is going to come in handy for Danny Silva. It seems like he didn't even deplete himself to make weight. He missed by a couple of pounds. So, yeah, Danny Silva 2-3 for me here against Josh Kulibala. But I think I see violence in this fight.
Yeah, I agree with you that I see violence. I see violence for the other side on this one. I feel like Kulibala is typically like lower volume striker that like a lot of people are afraid to bet on him because he doesn't necessarily pump out a ton of volume. Like you said, he does get a little bit tired in the end of fights. But to me, it's like Kulibala against guys that are really aggressive, he counters extraordinarily well. And he is really, really good at like picking spots. Like, I mean, Choi was a perfect example of it. Choi came in early in that fight and got into range, and he fucking hurt him really badly twice. And I just feel like there's going to be shots for him. And Silva, for me, I feel like he's good. I do feel like you're right. I do feel like there's a chance that he could cook him late, but I also feel like he could just walk into some serious punches early in this fight. So I'm going to go Josh KO plus 425. KO 1 is 1200. KO 2 is plus 1300. I think for me, I've had some good bets on Kulibala, and just like I think the market kind of underrates him a little bit, and I think that this might be a situation where he gets the exact fight that he kind of wants, kind of a reckless striker that's going to come into range for him and give him some shots.
Yeah, I mean, Kulibala is for sure. He's a very good counter striker, and I think he is going to land good shots here. I agree with you in that sense. So, is he going to be able to finish Silva? I don't know, but it's possible. I mean, Silva's there to be hit, man. This guy is just like reckless. So yeah, I mean, a finish either way, but I kind of feel like Silva will cook him later in the fight. But yeah, I agree with you. Kulibala can find a knockout here. Moving on, fight number 5. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 12-6 Ode Osborne versus the 15-3 Jafil Filho. This one's yours, Tim.
For me, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not rating Filho as like a really good fighter, good wrestler, or anything like that. But Ode for me is always a guy that I'm just saying, like, Jesus, man, he wins fights until he just wins until he loses, and he's never a guy that I can really rely on for anything, like, unless he gets his win condition in round 1 or gets super lucky against Charles Johnson that he gets the ball shot and that he gets to rest up and then get his energy back to be able to fight him in the 2nd and 3rd round. He notorious gasser, absolute dog shit on the ground, just so fucking weak off of his back. And I feel like this fight, like, he's clearly going to be a better striker earlier than Filho. Like, he's going to be I think that that's clear. I don't think that he sucks and he's like just oh my God, he's just a complete fade. But anybody with grappling ability and a decent submission game, to me, is like a guy that I'm going to take a shot on versus Ode, especially if they show that they have any type of like cardio and ability to take a shot. So I think that you see that with Filho. I think he almost got the late round sub on Makayev in the last fight. I think 90% of people that fight in that fight are getting knee barred. Then that knee bar are tapping and giving up. And I just think Makayev is a different beast when it comes to taking that shit. So yeah, I don't think that Ode is taking very much of anything close. I think if he even gets remotely close to his leg like that, I think he's insta-tapping. So hopefully it happens late. Let's go Filho by sub, and its sub 2 is 800, sub 3 is plus 1150. The submission prop is too cheap at 175. So I'll do sub 2, sub 3, 800 and 1150.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely has that path here in this fight against Ode, who's not very good when it comes to jiu-jitsu, but the issue for me for Jafil is I don't really like his wrestling at all. Like, he is not a very good wrestler. He's not very good on the feet defensively, especially. He's very liable to get knocked out. Even though he's tough, I will say the guy is tough. Last time out, he got hurt to the body pretty bad. Could have almost stopped that fight. The refs, they didn't, and he came back to win. Ode showed, against Asu that he can get taken down, and he was, subbed in round 2. But Asu's wrestling is completely different than Jafil's, right? He's got elite grappling skills compared to Jafil. Yeah, man, I kind of lean Ode here. He's at home again. He's in the Apex. He's never lost there. I think he feels comfortable there. He even talked about it in an interview. His weight cuts, everything is so different when he fights in Vegas, in his hometown. That's where he trains. And Ode, his striking is good, man. His striking is good. I don't want to take that away from him, because Manel Cape fight, he was holding his own, if not doing better than Cape, up until Cape landed the knee, right? The Tyson Nam one was pretty crazy because He was going for like a jumping knee and he got caught and he just absolutely put him to sleep. But Tyson Nam hits very, very hard. Here's the thing. Jafil Filho has never been knocked out. Okay. He's got how many fights? 18. He's never been knocked out. Seems to show a very, very good chin. Even against Vinicius Salvador fight, he ate some big shots. His chin seems very good. But he's not the typical guy that's a minute winner, right? He's not a minute winner in the sense that he really doesn't have a lot of volume. He's not a great striker. He probably needs to take your back and not finish you to win minutes. Ode, on the other hand, is decent at winning decisions. He's 3-1. Decisions plus 500 on Ode. The guy's never been knocked out. I have to give him credit for a good chin from what I've seen. Perez cracked him, but he cracked him to the body, Dixon. He hurt him to the body bad.
And then went down into his guard.
Yeah, it wasn't to the head. It was body shots that hurt him. Ode could probably hurt him to the body too. I'm not taking that away from him, but I'm talking about his chin. I think it's good. So I'm going with Ode by decision here, man. Plus 500. I think it's a decent look here. Ode is not subbing this guy, in my opinion. So if I like the Ode side, it's either KO or decision. And I kind of lean decision. Yeah. I think, that's the other thing. Again, these guys are flyweights. I mean, I understand that Filho is, a finisher for the most part, right? 14 of his 15 wins are ITD, but, a lot of them are against questionable opponents too. So, I'm going to take Ode by decision here. We have 378 live viewers. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. Appreciate you guys. Hit the like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, please. And hit that bell, man, after you subscribe. So you could know when we go live here on my channel. Moving on. Fight number 6. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 10-1 Josiane Nunes versus the 5-2 Chelsea Chandler. And Chelsea Chandler missed weight here.
Ugh.
She talked about it in an interview. She said, it's going to be a tough weight cut for me at 35. She said it. She said, also, I will be walking into the ring at 165 pounds on fight day. That's a big girl.
Yeah, she's eating deep dish pizza right now to fucking
she is probably going to town right now at the Caesars buffet. I watched Josiane Nunes and nothing screams that she should be a favorite here. Her striking is not good. Her grappling is awful. She's there to be hit. She's there to be taken down. She's got one good thing, or maybe two. Two good attributes. Power, and she seems tough. That's about it. Like, is she skilled? I don't think she's skilled at anything, to be honest. Even her striking is awful, man. It's
left
awful.
Overhead.
She doesn't know what a jab is. Everything is looping. There's nothing coming straight down the middle. On the other hand, Chandler, she didn't look great against Norma Dumont. But Norma Dumont is a way better fighter overall than Josiane Nunes, right? Josiane Nunes has been very fortunate. Look at these girls that she's beating. Bay Malecki.
Worst of the worst.
Ramona Pascal, that took her down 3 times.
Sarah
Farn, who was lightering her up in round 1 at the ripe age of 40 years old.
Those are legit 3 of the worst fighters in women's MMA.
Listen, I probably want to add another unit to my bet on Chelsea Chandler. I keep looking at this and it keeps staying at 122, 120. This line cannot be accurate to me. Chelsea Chandler is the much better grappler here. And if she commits to grappling, she's going to get her down. This girl swings hard with all her punches. And if you see Ramona Pascal when she was swinging hard, all she did is duck under, double leg, and she flopped to her back. And she was like, how turtles are on their back and they're like trying to she can't do anything. She sucks on her back. I think Chandler sub at plus 800 is a little bit wild. I know this girl's never been subbed. Chandler's a brown belt. She talked about how this girl's biggest weakness is grappling. She knows where she needs to take this fight. And the other thing that I think is important here is she's going to be very, very, very heavy on top, man. She's a big girl in there. So it could be ground and pound. It could be a sub. I'm going to go with sub because I think Josiane Nunes is one of those tough-ass girls that as much as you hit her, she's just not going to give in. She's going to maybe turn her back and give up her back. I'm going to take sub. It's 800. I think that line is a tad bit off. But I think it happens a little bit later, honestly, round 2, round 3. But give me the submission on Chelsea Chandler here, plus 800.
I have a lot written on this one, and I'm prepared to lose a decent amount of coin on this fight if this fight goes to decision here. I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna bet the money line on Chandler as well, just to kind of cover that base. And then if Nunes wins or wins a decision, I'm gonna lose a decent amount of money here. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I honestly, this fight to me, the only way I see that this fight not being like Chandler hindsight huge favorite is if she fights standing for the entire fight. And then just like it's a close battle between the fight, which I don't even think it's going to be super close between them if they're standing. Like, I don't think she's a great, I don't think Chelsea's a great striker, but I don't think that Nunes is a great striker either. And I mean, women's MMA, how often do we see this? Like the significantly more physical, bigger woman is just like, they win these fights at a decent clip. If she grapples here, to me, it's like the only way that that we're pissed off is if Nunes, who actually does do this. So this is like where I'm a little bit concerned about putting too much money on it. Like she'll actually just like go full guard and like hug the girl and just like stay there in a position and just waste time to hopefully get a stand up. And that's like her defense. Like that's like all she knows how to do defensively. Her get ups are terrible. So she just basically goes full guard and tries to get like as close as she can hugging the girl. And then she's going to waste, I think, a decent amount of time unless Chandler can be really physical, get her off of her, and then pass. To me, like you're saying, I think Chandler ITD is plus 350. That's a Lambo. Sub is plus 800, bigger Lambo. Round 2 is 1100. Round 3 is 1400. Sub 2 is plus 2200, and sub 3 is plus 2800. I think it happens 2-3. For her, I think she wins. I do think, like you said, I do think it could be a positional TKO where she gets her into a position and mount, and maybe Nunes is tough enough to take it, but it's just a position where she can't do anything, and then the refs just stop it. But like you said, man, I mean, if she does turn her back, I mean, it could be that she just pounds her out there and she just has a 50-50. You just have a 50-50 shot at 8-1. So I really like the ITD. I really like the round 2, round 3. And I just because you've already taken sub, I'll just take the ITD round 2, round 3, and then I'm definitely sprinkling sub round 2, round 3.
Yeah, I honestly believe Chandler finishes her, man. If she can't finish this girl on the ground, then it is what it is. But I honestly believe she should not be the dog in this spot. I still, people still are betting this Josiane Nunes chick, and man, her tape is bad. I mean, I can't look past how bad that tape is. Let's move on. Fight number 7. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 10-2 Mike Davis versus the 8-1 Natan Levy. And this one's yours, Tim.
Yeah, I hate Natan Levy with a passion, dude. This dude is a guy that I've seen in fights where I've taped him before, and he's fought against just strikers that have shitty wrestling and not really good jiu-jitsu, whatever. And I'm like, all right, he's got a path. Just take the guy down and go for a sub. And he just strikes, throws kicks. And then when he finally goes for a takedown when he's tired, he just lay and prays and does nothing and just fuck all for fights. It's so annoying to watch him fight in these fights if you had money on, which I've doing this show, I've put some money on his sub props thinking that he had advantages there, which he did absolutely have advantages. and then he just doesn't use it. So I really don't like Levy. I think he gasses. I think he's been rocked on regionals and come back and won fights. He's there to be hit. He has really poor gas. And I think that Davis is going to KO him, honestly. And I think probably later as he gasses. So KO is like a used Corolla plus 235, KO 2 plus 850, KO 3 plus 1050.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Davis 2-3. It's 650, 900. I think he gets it done here, man. Mike Davis is levels above anybody this guy's ever faced. I mean, and Levy is, man, like holding on for dear life in round 3s. Like Mike Breeden almost put it on him in round 3. Rafa Garcia, same thing. He is literally death gassing in round 3, and this is going to be by far his best opponent ever by miles. I mean, Mike Davis is super, super skilled, man, everywhere. Wherever this fight goes, man, he's a great striker. He's a great wrestler. He has jiu-jitsu, good chin, good power. Health has been the only thing with this poor guy. He can't seem to get healthy, man. He had a stomach ailment for so long. Now I was listening to his interview. He had a shoulder surgery last year, along with 2 knee surgeries. It's like, bro, like this guy's a walking, what do you want to call him? He's a walking
hospital trip.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad, poor guy. I feel bad for him, but such a skill fighter. Give me Davis round 2, round 3, man.
Yeah, you know what?
Because he's not on the level, man.
You know what? Because he wrestles, and I do think that it's not like that he's just going to stand with this dude all the time. I'm going to change mine to 2-3 as well, because I do think that it's possible that he could gas him and sub him as well on the ground, and he's not just going to necessarily stand.
He's got good jiu-jitsu, man.
Yeah, I don't think that this is just like KO territory. So I agree with you. I'm going to switch because it's only like +1. It's like 900 versus 1050 and 850 versus 600. So I think it's a safer way. I do think that he finishes him late. I'm going to switch.
Yeah, because the reason why I chose that is because I do think Davis is very skilled.
I agree.
By the way, Natan Levy missed weight by 0.5, and I don't think he cut it. It's so weird. He did not cut the 0.5. He weighed in at 165, 156 and a half, and he didn't try to cut the 0.5. Maybe he did and couldn't get there, but extremely weird. Moving on, fight number 8. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 35-17 Gerald Meerschaert versus the 18-11 Brian Barbarena. I got a sneaky one, guys. Hold on to your hats here. Hold on to your hats. Strap in your seatbelts. I think Brian Barbarena's cooked. Okay, for one. I think this guy is, listening to his interview, he started a rum company. He says, oh, sales are pumping. We're doing really good. And then they ask him like, oh, yeah, that's good. He's like, but it's only me and my wife. Me and my wife bottle. Me and my wife do all the process. We ship it. We do this. We do that. What time does this guy have to freaking train, dude? He's got a rum company. Then he opens his own gym called Mud. Really, really weird name, Mud Gym. But yeah, I mean, why is this guy at 85, man? The only reason this guy's at 85 is because he's lazy. He does not train like before. He should not be at 85. He's way undersized, man. And just look at the last fight against Muradov. He knocked him down twice. He took him down, 12, 13 times? The problem, I had Muradov by submission in that fight, Tim.
Me too.
And he would not put the hooks in, and it was driving me nuts. I do think that most likely Meerschaert subs him. But man, let me tell you this. Meerschaert KO is plus 3,000 in round 2.
Yep.
And it's plus 5,000 in round 3. He almost fucking finished Petrosky last fight. He had him hurt, had him reeling in round 3. Barbarena is absolutely cooked. I'm telling you guys. And I know GM3 doesn't have knockouts. He's got like 5 or whatever in his career. But I'm telling you, if he gets to some crazy position like Mount and just starts smashing this guy, what's he going to do? Barbarena's, I think this is the last fight of his contract. He's lost 3 in a row. He started this rum company. It might be the swan song for him, dude. It really might. So I'm going to take a shot here, man. Round 2 KO, 3,000. Round 3 KO, 5,000, Tim. That's what I'm doing here. I don't know why this dude is at 185, but he's going to be the much weaker guy here. What do you like here, Tim?
I like round 2 because it's 80 cents off of the sub prop on round 2. And I like round 3 because it's like 50 cents off of the prop on round 3. And I think that you'd be an absolute dumbass not to take shots on KO2 and KO3, like you just said, plus 30 to 1 and 50 to 1. Just, I mean, even Silva should have been a KO. I mean, like realistically, I mean, like he fucking bonked the shit out of the dude, and then then he subbed him after that. Like it's not like he doesn't try to strike. And he's not a process.
What did he do to Muradov? He bonked him as well on the feet. He hurt Muradov.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And Muradov shot for a takedown, then whatever, he got to the ground and he finished him.
Yeah.
I don't even think Barbarena knows how to shoot a takedown if he gets hurt.
Yeah, I really agree with you, man. Like he's had Silva and Muradov that are just like easy KOs. Like easy, like just don't, just 50% of those fights turn out to be a KO. He is not a super like processed grappler in fights either.
Rusty with a great point. He's got very good body kicks. And guess what? If you remember, not very long ago, Barbarena had like that really, really bad stomach problem where he had surgery. He was not going to fight anymore. And his body is, I mean, dude, you look at this guy on the scales, man. I swear to God, there's like not an inch of muscle on this guy. It's all fat, dude. It doesn't look like, I don't think this guy's training. I'll be honest with you.
He could fight at like honestly, he could fight at like close to 155 if he
did fight at 55 before.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty terrible. He's just lazy as shit.
Yeah, I mean, did you finish?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I just wanted to say the same thing. Like Silva was a fight that easily could have been a KO. He's not fighting like when he fought Joe Pyfer. He stands like with guys all the time. He's not a processed grappler. Like he really isn't. Most of his subs are like extremely, I wouldn't say memeish. They're just like they're opportunistic subs where he's just. He takes the right play and he gets it. He sees it and he's like, all right, there you go. If you're going to give me that, I'll fucking take it. But I really do think that the KO is live, like you're saying. And Barbarena does not seem like his head's in the game.
But by the way, I do have to mention that if you guys don't think that Miesha can knock him out, I will just leave it that Witt, one of the worst fighters, knocked him down. Jason Witt, guys.
Years ago.
Witt knocked this guy down.
Yeah, years ago.
I honestly, if you look at Barbarena of late, man, like 2 knockdowns against Muradov, got finished against Dos Anjos.
He lost to Matt Brown. I know he won against Brown.
He was getting his ass kicked by Robbie Lawler early. I don't know if people remember that. Matt Brown was fucking.
That was Robbie.
The guy's durability is definitely kind of going away. It 100% is. Like if you guys don't see it, I don't know what to tell you. Jason Witt dropped him a couple years ago. It's his durability is nowhere near what it used to, because this guy was one tough SOB back in the day. And now it's like knockdown after knockdown, and this guy's washed, in my opinion, like as washed as they come. So yeah, give me Miesha here in a big way, man. Moving on, fight number 9. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 16-7 Pani Kianzad versus the 8-3 Macy Chason. This one's yours.
By the way, that did qualify as a whisper bet. We should have whispered that one. So, I mean, yeah, this fight is weird for me. I mean, here's the thing. I was wrong, very wrong, but I did hit plus 620 on Wood by live last week. And I did call it. I thought that fight would be similar to the first fight. And And it totally wasn't. She had no success trying to get her down except for catching the kick. But to me, I feel like this fight is going to be different than the first fight in the fact that the first fight between these guys, the sub came after she knocked her down with a punch. She had zero success going for takedowns. She was 0 for 6 on takedown attempts. But what I do feel like you can rely on with Macy is that she will try to grapple. Like, she will try to cage push. She will try to get you down. And Panny, to me, the difference of when she fought her years and years ago, was it was pre-ACL surgery. And I think after that point, her takedown defense and her wrestling is significantly declined for Panny. So to me, that's the difference, where I think that the takedowns will be a little bit easier this time for Macy. And they're hanging a plus 750 on Macy by sub. So I just think it's like she's typically going to try to grapple. She's typically going to try to get somebody to the ground. And I think when she gets her to the ground, I think that Panny's kind of a fish off of her back. And I do think that it's possible that she could rain some punches, take her back, and take her neck again. So I don't think it's like a processed, sub or anything like that. I just think she's going to maybe get to a really dominant position and mount, and then, she turns her back and takes her neck. So yeah, give me Macy sub plus 750. Not the most confident in it, but it's more the takedown defense from Panny not getting as good from her knee surgery.
All right. Let me shout out Glenbot 249 dono. Thank you. Appreciate you very much, Glenbot. Appreciate the dono. Hit the likes, like he said. Smash them. 444 live viewers. You guys are the best. I appreciate you guys very, very much. This show just keeps growing and growing because of you guys, man. And I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, you know what this reminds me of, Tim? I said it on my spaces. Joanne Calderwood versus Marina Moroz last week. Everybody was on Moroz, and I was on the opposite side. And I said, well, hey, the first fight, Moroz subbed her easy. This girl's grappling is terrible. And what happened? She wins the decision over her. Panny Kianzad lost to this girl by sub the first time they faced. Now, she's at the same exact price Wood was at plus 200, plus 205. The Lambos pretty much stink on this one. I don't think Kianzad can punch her way out of a paper bag. So
that's the difference. The difference is that it's not Wood at plus 420 on decision. You get Panty.
That's the problem. That's the freaking problem. But Tim, we still have to dig, right? We still have to find something that makes sense, right? And that's why I'm here, because this is the only thing that makes sense to bet for me. Panny Kianzad by split decision.
Yep.
I mean, it's 750. It's still a shitty number, but I think she wins. If she wins, it's a close decision, and it's plus 750. I don't know, man. Chason's a quitter, by the way. I do not like the way she tapped to Raquel Pennington. I mean, it was like a 10-finger guillotine, but when you have a 10-finger guillotine, the arm is not supposed to be in. Like, she got a 10-finger with her arm in. It was like the weirdest choke, and she just kind of like lightly tapped on with the right hand. And then that up kick to the liver, how she just, I mean, she's on the way to winning the fight, man.
That was definition of meme.
I understand that it hurts, and I understand it shuts your body down, but come on. I mean, like the way it looked like she died. It looked like a bullet hit her and she died, man. It's like crazy. She just like walks over to the center of the cage and like this, wank, just goes down. It was hilarious. I don't know, man. This girl rubs me the wrong way. I can never back her at these prices, ever. I don't care who she's fighting. Look at just look at her historically and who she's lost to, too. I think that's very important, right? Who has this girl lost to? You know who she's lost to, Tim? Huh?
I'd have to look, but
Lena Landsberg, dude.
Yeah.
Lena Landsberg. That's a red flag. It's a big, big red flag when you're losing to Lena Landsberg, man. So, yeah, I can't back this chick. I can't back her at all. I'm going to go to split plus 750. It is what it is.
Don't hate it. Yeah, don't hate it at all.
Moving on, fight number 10. It is in the featherweight division. It is the 10-1 Christian Rodriguez versus the 6-0 Isaac Dulgarian. And I will kick this one off here. I kind of went back and forth at this one. I looked at a bunch of props. I'm like, what can happen here? You know, I was initially thinking, you know, Rodriguez at this price is probably going to be value. Something about this fucking Dulgarian guy, man. His interviews, he has this aura about him. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Obviously, on tape, he just smashes everybody, right? In round one. His wrestling is elite. His top time is very good. His ground and pound is nasty. Something about him, man, is in his interview, Len. This guy lives and breathes MMA. He runs at 10,000 feet every weekend. He trains 24/7, he says. He never gets out of the gym. He says he trains for 5-round fights instead of 3. And, you know, when they asked him about the cardio stuff, man, it's just, when you see people respond the way he did, it was just like, you guys will see. You guys will see my cardio. And then you'll know how good my cardio is, you know, because one of those, you know. So I think the strength, man, the size is going to be way too much for Rodriguez. Shouldn't be fighting here. I mean, he's a 35er. Weird that I'm playing this, but I think Dulgarian 2-3, man. 600 and 1,000. I think it's just going to be way, like, if he smashes him, let's say in round 1, then he probably finishes him 2-3. If he has the cardio like he says he does, he's probably going to finish him. So I'm going Dulgarian 2-3 here, 600 and 1,000. I know it's a little different than what people think. You know, I know a lot of people are on the C-Rod late round props, but yeah, man, I do think this one. I do think Dulgarian might get the late finish. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, this fight is interesting to me for a bunch of different reasons. Obviously, C-Rod has been a guy that the UFC's they've been just matching him up in really weird matchups where they're going like prospect versus prospect and prospect versus prospect, and it's something you usually don't see them do. And both of the prospect fights that he did that won tons of money on him, and like against Rosas, huge cash, against Simon, huge cash. I just felt like both of those guys were way overrated compared to C-Rod. And for me, I think it's like in gambling, I think it's really one of the toughest things to do. And it's one of the things you have to be able to do is know when to get off the bus. And I think this is a time to get off the bus for C-Rod. I feel like his win condition is a couple of different things. I think his win condition is locking in like a sub on him on a takedown, which is possible, but I think it's kind of lower percentage. And I think his other win condition is a greasy ass split decision that he somehow finagles and wins some of the striking and then gets taken down in each round. And it's just really close to like half and half through the rounds. Dulgarian for me has really solid wrestling, is extremely physical. Like you were saying, the cardio, I've been listening to people talk about this all week. We fucking talk about this all the time. Just because somebody hasn't shown that they haven't fought in round 2, because literally they kill everybody in round 1, doesn't mean they can't fight in round 2 or round 3. Like it's predictive data that we don't have yet. This is what we will see hopefully in this fight, and we'll be able to track it and be able to have actual data on it. But the narrative of like, oh, he's probably going to gas or C-Rod's going to take over in round 2 or 3. It's like, how do you know that? Like, there's nothing at all to say that we know that this guy is going to fucking gas. He lives in Colorado, right? What's up, Lou? He lives in Colorado. Like just he's training in elevation. Like, we don't know what this guy is doing. So to me, I feel like it's a used Lambo, but I think it's a really solid Lambo. And then the other one is an actual Lambo. So I think Dulgarian by points here at plus 250. I thought it was going to, honestly, I thought it was going to be like 125 or 150. I know that he gets a ton of finishes, but I feel like C-Rod is very durable as well as has good cardio to not gas out late, has good submission defense. So if he's on the ground, I just feel like this is a solid line at plus 250 that after the fight, we might be going like, dude, that was a really 2.5 to 1 is fucking really, really good. So I like that. And then if you wanted to go Lambo, I would just say end split at plus 500.
Yeah, I agree with you. 250 is a good line. Yeah, but Dulgarian didn't have shoes on either. I looked at that. Dulgarian, no shoes. The other guy had shoes on. But like, I'm not even talking about like height though, man. Like, did you see this guy's back and shoulders compared to? They're not the same. There's no way those two are the same. Let's see what else. Oh, Isaac got narco talking about body language out here. I don't know, man. Something about him. Rusty, thank you very, very much. $10 dono from Rusty. Dulgarian trains at elevation, right, guys? Yep. He does train at Factory X. He lives at elevation. He lives in his what does he live in, Tim?
RV.
RV, yeah. He lives in an RV, correct. Sorry. Dulgarian decision. Yeah, decision's a good one, man. Decision's actually a good one. I didn't really think of it, but yeah, decisions are really a 250 is pretty damn good. I didn't even look at it. What else do we have here? Lou Betcha in the house. What's up, my man? When are you going to come back to Twitter? We need you back. Uncle Weezy in the house. What is up, my man? Let's cash big this week. Yeah, man. Sent a $10 super chat for some reason, not showing up.
Mushroom. Mushroom. My pick was Dulgarian by points.
Huh?
Yeah. Mushroom was asking me what my pick was there. It was Dulgarian by points at plus 250.
Rusty with another $10. Come on, my man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, guys, keep the donos coming. I won't complain. Victor DeJesus, what is up, my man? Thank you very much. Mitchell Hooper, what's up? Good show. Appreciate you. Yeah. 486. Let's hit that 500 mark. 500 live viewers. Retweet it. Send it out to family, friends. We are on fight number 11. It is in the light heavyweight division. It is the 12-4 Kennedy and Nzeogwu versus the 26-17 Oven St. Preux. And I'll give this one to you, Tim. It's a great fight for you to break down.
I'm prepared for this bet to lose, but this is a you got to do it kind of, where the Lambo for round one is not going to hit, or it's not going to be a Lambo. It's not even going to be a used Corolla. It's like a tricycle bet. I honestly, here's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on Kennedy starting slow, which is definitely likely. He doesn't start off fast a lot of times in fights. Oven St. Preux for me is absolutely, you want to know what he is? Go downstairs in your basement and look at your laundry machine. He is fucking washed. He is completely as washed as you can fucking see. Like, definition, dishwasher, any kind of washer, he's absolutely washed. Like, this guy looks like total shit. He looks completely like just a shell of himself, and he's not taking damage well anymore. There's just so many red flags on Oven St. Preux at this stage in the game. I'm really hoping that Ovens can take a few punches and that Kennedy is extremely safe early, just maybe respecting the only win condition from Ovens, which is a round one KO, and just like a bonking the shit out of him, or maybe lucking his way into a takedown, which I don't think is going to happen either. And I'm hoping for a round two, round three. I don't even think it gets to round three, to be honest, but I think it's round two, round three for Kennedy here. And please just last 5 minutes, Ovens. I don't think it happens, but please last.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what this guy's doing still in the UFC, to be honest. I mean, that was probably one of the worst showings for a fighter in that Lins fight. I mean, what the fuck, man? The guy didn't even throw a single punch, running away. He made Felipe Lins look like Francis Ngannou, bro. Like he really did. I mean, he was running away, couldn't take any of the punches well. He looked like dog shit against Shogun, even though he won a split. He looked like absolutely horrific. Why is this guy even fighting? He's going to be 41 in like 2-3 weeks. This guy shouldn't be fighting, period. Should not be fighting. Kennedy, however he wants, in my opinion, but I'm going to take a shot just because of how washed this dude is. I've seen him. I mean, think of this. If Latifi can get you in a standing guillotine and the guy's like 5'4" compared to how tall Kennedy is, why can't Kennedy get him with a standing guillotine, right? Well, let's say he just like hurts him on the feet and this guy kind of goes into a clinch and he just fucking standing guillotine because he's such a fucking huge guy. Kennedy is. He can get it. And guess what? He did it against Devin Clark. The exact same fucking submission he did to Devin Clark. So I think submission is something to look at here. Like, I know everybody's on KO is just too juiced, man. Like, you got submission almost at a plus 1,000, plus 950 on Bet Rivers, right? I'm going to take a shot with submission. And honestly, I mean, look at the sub 2 number. I don't think it's getting to sub 3. I think it's either sub 1 or sub 2. Sub 2 is like 3,200. What is it? 3,500 on Bet Rivers. Sub 2. I think it's happening, man. I really think he can get a standing guillotine against this guy. And as washed as OSP is, he might just fucking tap right away.
He might just quit.
So, I don't know, man. Kennedy, I mean, he should do whatever he wants in this fight. But, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to go with, this KO is just way too juiced. I'm not fucking touching it. Moving on, fight number 12. It is the co-main event of the night. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 10-2 Brian Battle versus the 10-3 Ange Loosa. And I will kick this one off. I wanted to play Loosa, and pre-tape, I thought, maybe Loosa has some value here at these numbers. But like over and over and over again, he's kind of gassing, man. I mean, Reese McKee, I know he went for the knockout and he couldn't finish him, and then he gassed. He looked terrible in round 3. But like AJ Fletcher hurt him very bad in round 2. Round 3, he was gassed, but he landed a takedown. And guess what? AJ Fletcher was more gassed than he was, because we know he's a gas job, right? It's like over and over again, like Ange Loosa seems to tire in round 3. It's just a reoccurring theme. And yeah, it might be all those muscles for sure. He needs a lot of oxygen for those. And the one thing Battle's very good at is breaking people in round 2 and 3, right? He's got those teeps, man. He's using those teeps really well. He's going to zap your energy, man. Can he get taken down by Ange? Yeah. I don't think he can get controlled, though. That's the problem. Like, this is not Renat. Ange takes people down, but he really doesn't have great control. So, Battle round 2, round 3 here again. 900 on round 2. But if you have Hard Rock, it's 1,400 in round 3. I'm playing it, man. It could be a KO. It could be, fight could go to decision because Loosa is tough. But, man, Battle is going to be putting him in some tough spots, in my opinion, in round 2 and 3. So, what is that noise, Tim? Mute your mic. I can hear the background, my talking. Yeah. So, yeah, round 3 at Hard Rock is 1,400. Round 2 is 900. I was thinking I was going to play Loosa, but I don't like how his cardio looks, honestly, later in these fights. How about you?
Yeah, I'm on the same. I like round 2, round 3. I think that if he does get it, I think it's probably a sub more than a KO, because Loosa has shown that he can take a bunch of fucking shots and some really powerful shots. I don't think JDM got him out. I think it's going to be hard for Battle to finish him in the late rounds with strikes. But I do think Battle can choke him out. He's got those fishpole arms. and I feel like he could easily sneak that under the chin on a poor takedown or a tired takedown, or maybe even like sweep to his back after he goes for a shitty takedown. So I think the grappling edge for Battle is more is his bigger edge than his striking edge here. I mean, obviously he's got the cardio edge in my opinion too, but I feel like Battle's there to be hit. That's the only thing where I do feel like this fight could be closer on the feet than the grappling edge. I think the only guy that grapple fucked him was Renat, and that was just a completely different fight. I don't think that Loosa is going to get that here. So yeah, round 2, round 3, and then if you want to take small stabs on sub 2, sub 3, that's not terrible.
All right. 520 live viewers. Tim, we're getting records every week, man. It's incredible. And I thank each and every one of you. With that being said, Tim, let's move on. It's the main event of the night, and it is in the heavyweight division. It is the 15-6 Tai Tuivasa versus the 24-8 Marcin Tybura. This one's yours, Tim.
Man, this is a weird one for me. Tai Tuivasa's injury to his knee is 3 months ago is too much for me to overlook. Also coming off of, opportunities for a title and then not getting it. It just seems like this guy could be wanting to get out of the sport anytime. And we just don't know. Like I wouldn't be shocked if after this fight he hangs him up or even after like one of the next 2 fights that we just go like, oh, whatever happened to Tai Tuivasa? We retired a year and a half ago. Like, I just don't know where his head's at this point. I just feel like if you're on Tai, it's a clear round 1, round 2 KO. And I feel like if, the reason why I think I'm going to go to Tybura in this fight is he has shown like a little bit better chin in the last few fights against guys like Volkov and going 3 rounds with Volkov, who looked like shit in that fight. But I don't know. If he gets him to the ground, if Tybura is smart and he gets him to the ground in this fight early, there's just not a situation where I see Tai getting up like at all. Like, and to me, I feel like Tybura versus Romanov was a really good play because we knew that he had the wrestling to counter wrestle. He knew he had the cardio, and it was just a question of and he knew he had better striking as well on the feet. So I just feel like this is a fight where I'm hoping that I would not be shocked either way. I would not be shocked if Tai leg kicks him a couple of times. Tybura's being slow as shit. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he knocks him out, like in the first 7 minutes of the fight. But if he doesn't finish him in the first 7 minutes of the fight, I feel like round 2, round 3, Tybura is good for me. Like just because I think it is possible that he gets him like it late round 1 as well. We usually do like 3, 4, 5 or 2, 3, 4. Like I would even honestly go like round 1, round 2, round 3, but I think it is round 2 or 3 for Tybura.
Yeah, I mean, mute your mic, Tim.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Tuivasa can't be trusted, man. I mean, how could anybody just fucking play him here at like even money or whatever? You can't trust a guy with this type of cardio that's so front loaded. He's round 1 or 2 or bust. Maybe 7.5 minutes or bust. But I kind of disagree with you in the sense that if he gets taken down, he can't get up. Just because Spivak to me is a much better grappler, and he got up against him years ago, So I don't think like Tybura is some like great grappler or anything. So there is a world where he can get up early, not when he's probably gassed. Like I probably not getting up anymore. I'm gonna go with strictly KO2, KO3 for Tybura. It's 1,100 and 1,700. He just doesn't look for subs, bro, ever. And, like Tuivasa's like a thick, big guy, like no neck. I don't know. I don't see him subbing him, honestly. And Tybura just goes for ground and pound. He doesn't really go for subs. So, yeah, KO2, 1,100. KO3, 1,700. If you want to play Tuivasa, like get a prop on him, I would just go KO2, honestly, plus 750. I sprinkled it just because when you look at Tuivasa, he knocked out Sakai in round 2. He knocked out Lewis in round 2. So, he can knock you out in round 2. So it's the way bigger number. Round 1 is not a playable number. So, give me round 2 for him, and then even round 2 for Tybura in round 3, because I just don't see it hitting round 4. This fight's not getting to round 4. So, yeah, that will do it. All 13 fights. Hit the like, please, guys. With that being said, how many likes do we have, by the way? Can somebody tell me? I mean, it would be nice to have at least
70.
What?
79.
How? We have 534 live viewers.
They
what
can't.
do you guys? Oh, I forgot. It's hard. It's hard to click the left,
man.
the left button.
You gotta locate the thumb up first. You gotta locate it.
Yes.
Then they have to lift a finger, and then they have. It's hard, dude. It's fucking hard.
I you know what? I can't blame you guys. 500. Yeah. What the fuck are 480 of you doing? That's what I want to know. With that being said, Lambo parlay time. You want to kick this one off, Tim, or me?
You go.
All right. So for me, it's going to be Chandler submission. And then I'm going to mix and match the round 2, round 3 props on Mike Davis. So it's Chandler sub. Tim, mute your mic. Your mic sub. Chandler sub and round 2, round 3 for Mike Davis. So mix and match. I think you're going to get between 55-1 and 75-1 here. So I don't mind it, man. I honestly think Chandler finds a sub, and then I think Mike Davis finds the finish here. And he even talked about it, by the way. I never mentioned that, but he said specifically, he says, I know I've been going to decisions. I want to finish in a big way in this fight. So he's probably going to look for the finish here. Tim, what do you got here for your Lambo parlay?
I'm going to be so pissed when it doesn't hit here. But so there is a way to kind of arb off of it if you want, but not arb off it, just bet like really small on 25 and 30-1. But Chandler round 2, Kennedy, the 2-3 for Chandler and the Kennedy 2-3 is it just you round robin them. 2 and 2 is 61-1. Round 3 for Chandler, round 2 for Kennedy 77-1. Round 2 for Chandler and round 3 for Kennedy is 101-1, and round 3 is 126-1. If you want, honestly, I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to take a 6 route instead of a 4 on this one and do round 2, round 3 for Chandler, and then round 1 for Kennedy, and that's 25 and 30-1.
Oh, wait. I'm confused. Round 2, 3 Chandler. What's Kennedy?
Round 2, round 3. But what I was saying is if you wanted to put 2 more instead of the 4, you could do round 1 for Kennedy, because I do think it's possible he finishes him in round 1, obviously. And it's still
1-2. To be honest with you, I think 1-2 is better than 2-3 on Kennedy. Just
it's like So what I'm saying is it's 25-1 and 31-1 if you do round 1 with Kennedy.
So if you add it, so you're saying 6 different ones.
Yeah, I think like 25 and 30-1 are like good enough. They're like not the greatest ones. We usually give like 40 or higher, but like 25 and 30-1 are fucking solid lines, man. You put $25 on that, you're making a decent coin. It's not really a huge bet. You don't have to invest that much, and you put $50 on it. I think I agree with you. I think round 3 for Kennedy is not nearly as likely as round 1. So I that's why I was saying I think it's a good play to just do all 6 and maybe make the 100-1 the 2-3 for any time that you're taking Kennedy at 3 and making like a 0.1 unit bet on those.
And last week, I mean, we hit Wood decision. You hit the Spain in under half a round, I think.
Yeah, 60 seconds. We had 5 last week.
JDM round 3, but the Lambo last week, JDM came through in round 3, but freaking Almeida could not get the sub, and he had a shit ton of opportunities with takedowns and stuff, and that would have been nice. But yeah, man, we're looking to maybe hit it this week. I had a great week last week. So it was fun. I started pretty bad today with Cage Warriors, but came back and did okay. So got some boxing bets this week. I feel very confident in that I've given out in my Discord. Again, guys, link is down below for my Discord. It's $25 a month. I mean, you can ask everybody that's in there. We do live spaces in there for each card, and I mean, it's well worth it just for that alone. So thank you very, very much to all of you 532 live viewers. I appreciate you guys. Please comment down below. If you're watching this video, ask whatever you want. I usually answer everybody. I will put the timestamps for the timestamp warriors. And yeah, that's it. Tim, are you doing anything tomorrow?
I think Sean said that he sent me a text about doing another Spaces tomorrow. So I think we'll be doing a Spaces tomorrow.
All right. They're doing a Spaces tomorrow. Follow him at Timothy Troiano on Twitter. Can you mute your mic, Tim? I can hear myself. Thank you again to each and every one of you, 532 live viewers. Good luck tomorrow. Let's smash it together. And one last thing, let's cash those tickets for UFC Vegas.